A very good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here on TV47. This is Saturday Night News, and these are just some of the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, ODM leader Raila Odinga drums up support for BBI in Kakamega. As Kalonzo's tune is disrupted in Nyeri. Lawyer Onesmus Masako laid to rest in Machakos. The suspect in his murder is still in police custody. Also tonight, we tell you about cerebral palsy. What does it mean raising a child living with the condition? Thank you for being with us. My name is Mombi Chege. Our sign language interpreter for tonight is Faith Cheptile. Now, ODM leader Raila Odinga has continued to drum up support for the Building Bridges initiative in Kakamega. Now, Raila, who says the report will unite the country, has also proposed Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya for Deputy Premier's position under the BBI arrangement. And as Musa Salah reports, leaders who had accompanied the ODM boss also called on Kenyans to support the document.
ODM party leader Raila Odinga has maintained that he is still politically young and that he is ready to fight for the third liberation, a clear indication that the former prime minister is yet to retire from active politics.
Wale wengine wanasema ati baba sasa amezeeka astaafu. Nataka ni staafu. Niendelee nisiendelee? Niendelee. Mimi naendelea na kazi ya ukombozi wa Kenya, ukombozi wa tatu, the third revolution, ambayo ilikuwa ni ya mwisho wa taifa letu. Mimi nitakaa pale.
Leading other politicians to drum up support for the Building Bridges Initiative BBI report in Kakamega County, Odinga also proposed Kakamega County Governor and Council of Governors Chairperson Wycliffe Oparanya for the Deputy Prime Minister's position under the BBI proposals.
Oparanya amefanya kazi nzuri sana kama governor hapa. Sasa wakati yake imefikisha hapa. Hamna haja na yeye tena. Mna haja na yeye? Mna haja na yeye? Mnataka niende naye juu? Nataka niende naye juu?
The leaders called on Kenyans to embrace the changes recommended in the report to unite the country.
Tumetosha kupitisha mambo ya PPI hapa Western mzima. Unaona wabunge wako hapa na wengine ambao hawakupata nafasi ya kuwa hapa. Tutaungana nao tuone ya kwamba BBI imepita kwa sababu BBI imeshika kila mtu.
I can look every Kenyan in the eye, 47 million of you in all our 47 counties, and tell you confidently that the winner in BBI is devolution.
If this BBI inaenda kuwa implemented, the gender balance that we are fighting for currently is going to be 50-50%, and that is an automatic thing.
The report was presented to President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga this week, ahead of its official launch on Monday next week. Musa Salah, TV47. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has carried foul of proposals in the BBI report that seek to oust current commissioners in the electoral body. In a statement sent to newsrooms by IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati, IEBC has lashed out at the BBI report, terming it as a narrative driven by certain members of the political class to incite the public in mob lynching the commission and its staff. David Mudoka reports.
In a statement to newsrooms, the Wafula Chebukati-led Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has poked holes at the soon-to-be-launched BBI report, alleging it's been used by certain members of the political class to incite the public to mob lynch the commission and its staff.
Thank you.
Part of the statement reads, IEBC notes that it has been singled out as the only independent commission and indeed entity whose establishment is sought to be removed by way of the proposed changes in the report. Additionally, the report claws back on the gains made over the years on electoral management in Kenya. The statement further reads, this targeted onslaught against the commission is not new, as it has been occurring every general election since 1992. These consistent criminality allegations and attacks against the commission are unfortunate and ill-founded. The BBI report recommends that the country goes to the next election with a clean slate to strengthen faith in the IEBC. This means nomination of new commissioners ought to be carried out at the expense of current commissioners, among them IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati, Abdi Yakub Gulie, and Boya Molu, whose exit is imminent should the BBI report be implemented. The three are the only remaining IEBC commissioners after 4 others resigned. BBI further proposes all IEBC staff should be employed on a 3-year contract, renewable only once, and only if their performance is good. It continues, returning officers should be hired through a similar process to the one used for commissioners with the involvement of public participation. On matters vetting, the BBI steering committee recommends all current senior officers of IEBC should be vetted. The titles of senior IEBC staff should be reviewed from director to a lesser title, such as head of department. BBI campaigns are already on overdrive since the report was officially handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM party leader Raila Odinga on Wednesday, with its official launch slated for Monday next week ahead of a national referendum. David Muthoka, TV47, Nairobi.
And a section of leaders have continued to drum up support for the BBI report, saying that it will secure Kenya's economic stability. Led by Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati during a burial ceremony, the leaders have urged the public to read and understand the document before making a decision. Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o and his Bungoma counterpart Wycliffe Wangamati welcomed the BBI recommendation to increase the county revenue allocation from 15% to 35%.
All these proposals in BBI, especially kuhusu siasa, are very important to clear long-standing problems that have brought us conflicts and division in our lovely nation, Kenya. During elections, let us value that now and forever. Hakikisha ya kwamba siku zijazo tulikuwa na uchaguzi ya maana. Hii creation ya World Development Fund tunataka CDF at a world level, ambapo MCA na timu yake wataamua maneno ya development na CDF. Na mimi nimefanya hesabu hapa Bungoma, every single ward itakuwa inapata karibu milioni 40.
And as the recommendations on gender equality continue to elicit mixed reactions, Nyeri Deputy Governor Caroline Karugu has lauded the report, saying that it will give women a chance for more leadership positions.
Kila mwanamke ako na nafasi, na wanawake watakuwa kwa debe, na wanawake watawania viti kama wanaume. Party zetu zitakuwa strong, na kutoka chama yenu kama ni Ford Kenya watatafuta wale wanawake strong, na pia watawaweka kwa debe, na sisi wanawake basi tuchangamke ama vivyo.
Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka has, however, called on senators to be at the forefront in ensuring Kenyans make an informed decision, adding that his job is to lead the debate before the document is passed.
Mimi wakicheza vizuri niko nasikiliza na tusema mpira iendelee. Wakicheza rafu natoa yellow ama red card. Hivi nasimamisha mpira. Lakini nasema ni kwamba soma the document about your life. So many make an informed decision because that's going to determine how you live.
BBI nakala zitolewe, wananchi wapewe wajisomee. Mara hii hakuna mtu kusomea mwingine, ndiposa tuweze kufanya uamuzi ambao utakuwa ni sawa.
Kama inaenda 35%, tutapata zaidi ya bilioni 30 kwa mwaka moja. Ni nani anaweza kataa hayo?
The report is expected to be launched on Monday next week. An effort to popularize the BBI report in Nyeri town by Wiper party leader Kalonzo Musyoka took an ugly and dramatic turn after a section of residents disrupted his tour by shouting Deputy President William Ruto's slogans. Business in Nyeri town came to a standstill for more than an hour, forcing Kalonzo to leave the town, where he condemned the disruptions, terming them an orchestrated move by leaders opposing the BBI report. He further urged Kenyans to read the BBI report before making a decision to either support or oppose the report.
Kia pale kwa soko anaheshimu sana. Wase moja wasema Kalonzo, we have no problem with you. Lakini BBI hatutaki. We have a business to try to convince them, because it's also ni haki yao, si ndio? Ni haki yao kukataa seme mpaka waelezewe vizuri, mpaka kila mtu aone hii ndio njia na ndio barabara. So I've really enjoyed this. Even in terms of adversity, kiona mtu anapiga kelele yake pande hii, mwingine pande hii, wengine, hiyo ni hali ya democracy yetu. Kwa hivyo nawashangilia sana watu wa Nyeri kwa kutoa vile yale ambayo wako kwa roho zao. Ingawaje I think somebody must almost try to organize kidogo. Try to organize. That is also fine. To organize, but within the limits. That is why niliona pale even getting out of the marketplace was not that easy.
Away from the BBI document, pressure is mounting for President Uhuru Kenyatta to appoint the 41 judges proposed by the Judicial Service Commission JSC a year ago. Now, the Law Society of Kenya LSK now says the delay has caused confusion in the legal practice, and as Zainab Mohammed now reports, LSK President Nelson Havi was speaking during the burial of lawyer Onesmus Masaku in Machakos.
Speaking at the burial of lawyer Onesmus Masaku, Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Havi termed the president's failure to appoint 41 judges as a gross violation of the constitution. According to Havi, the fate of 41 judges appointed to various courts lies in the hands of President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The judges who are here, you are members of the Law Society. I speak on your behalf. When we come to you and say individual X and Y has misadvised the president on the issue of swearing in judges, and you proceed to hold the process, what do you really want us to do? How do you want us to help you?
Havi further maintained that the head of state has no option but to send MPs home, saying Chief Justice David Maraga's advisory is final and should be effected immediately.
The Judicial Service Commission starts serving the interests of the Kenyan public, not the interests deep-seated of a few individuals in government. Number two is the rule of law and constitutionalism. The Chief Justice has advised the dissolution of Parliament for failure to enact 2/3 gender laws.
Havi was attending the funeral of the deceased lawyer who succumbed to his injuries after he was allegedly assaulted by Makueni-based police officer. The suspect, Nancy Njeri, will face murder charges after undergoing a mental assessment. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on our Saturday night news. Let's take a short breather. We'll be back with much more, including a special report on cerebral palsy in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Kila siku ya Jumatano tunazungumza, tunaulizana na tunajuzana masuala ibuka ya kisiasa.
Kuna Uhuru he is not in Kirinyaga.
Maisha yangu ni huru na watu wangu wanyali.
Tulivunja vyama vya URP na TNA na vyama vingine tanzu, ndio tukaunda chama inaitwa Jubilee.
Mijadala komavu kuhusu yanayokuhusu, na zaidi ya yote tunakupa nafasi kumfahamu kiongozi wako katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Yako kama mtoto ilikuwa gani?
Mimi nilizaliwa sasa najuaje maisha ilikuwa.
Wakati namuuliza maisha.
Kwanza ilikuwa tu ni jaribu kabisa kufikia pahali ambapo nitafika Nairobi. Najua ilikuwa ni kazi ambayo ilichukua siku mingi sana kufika Nairobi.
Kila siku ya Jumatano kuanzia saa 1:30 hadi saa 2:30. Ungana naye Elizabeth Mutuku. Usikose.
It is said that cooking is one of the greatest gifts you can give those you love, because nothing brings people together like good food. Join Chef Hamadi every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. as he teaches us some simple and quick recipes, only on The Throwdown.
You are the mighty God, the great I am. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
This and every Sunday, TV47 brings church straight to your home. Come, worship straight from your home as we bring you the Sunday church service at the All Saints Cathedral from 11 a.m.
Kila siku ya Jumatano tunazungumza, tunaulizana na tunajuzana masuala ibuka ya kisiasa.
Kuna Uhuru he is not in Kirinyaga.
Maisha yangu ni huru na watu wangu wanyali.
Tulivunja vyama vya URP na TNA na vyama vingine tanzu, ndio tukaunda chama inaitwa Jubilee.
Mijadala komavu kuhusu yanayokuhusu, na zaidi ya yote tunakupa nafasi kumfahamu kiongozi wako katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Yako kama mtoto ilikuwa gani?
Mimi nilizaliwa sasa najuaje maisha ilikuwa.
Wakati namuuliza maisha.
Kwanza ilikuwa tu ni jaribu kabisa kufikia pahali ambapo nitafika Nairobi. Najua ilikuwa ni kazi ambayo ilichukua siku mingi sana kufika Nairobi.
Kila siku ya Jumatano kuanzia saa 1:30 hadi saa 2:30. Ungana naye Elizabeth
Authentic, natural, planned. Transforming. Endless benefits. Slaty, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
To receive breaking news alerts, SMS the word news to 20376.
Mount Kenya University takes pride in being an academic giant with some of the best infrastructure, imparting knowledge to the best brains in the country and the region. Our members of faculty are keen to deliver market-driven programs in science and humanities with a keen focus on linkages with relevant organizations. We admit both self-sponsored and government-sponsored students under the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service. Join us today, Mount Kenya University, unlocking infinite possibilities.
Hey, Peterson, tumefutwa wote.
Yawa, pia wewe?
Tumeachiliwa.
Si pia wewe unaweza anzisha biashara yako?
Na hii economy venye iko tough sana.
But not too tough for Mwananchi Credit.
Tutafanya aje?
Si niko na 5 good cars. We can get a quick logbook loan approved within 6 hours.
Nataka kuanzisha salon na spa. Hii haitatosa.
Si tuko na title deeds pay. We can still get more money using them. Get a quick approval within 6 hours using your logbook or title deed. Do not get stuck. Call Mwananchi Credit today. Si nilikwambia.
You are a big smart joke.
Mwananchi Credit. Investor in people.
Welcome to the exciting world of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment getaway solution to receive and disperse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
Welcome back. Now, at least 3 in every 100 children are living with cerebral palsy. However, it's always a challenge for parents who raise such children, with many complaining of stigmatization by the society. Josh Ansari spoke to such parents and medical experts to understand the condition and filed the following report, Living with Cerebral Palsy.
Cases of cerebral palsy among children are on the rise in the country. At least 3 children in every 100 are reported to be living with the condition globally, according to health experts. Living with a child suffering from cerebral palsy can be depressing, especially in a society that is not accommodative.
At 6 months, my son was not sitting, my son was not able to control his neck.
We even thought he wouldn't survive. People could treat him differently and even say unkind things to him. We had a fear of getting other babies because we didn't know what will happen.
But the condition is manageable.
What I encourage every mother who is expectant is you need to go to your antenatal visits.
Cerebral palsy is a group of disorders that affect movement and muscle tone or posture. It's caused by damage that occurs to the immature brain as it develops, most often before birth.
Cerebral palsy is a condition which causes difficulties with posture and movement for children, and this is because of a disturbance in the brain that occurred either before the baby was born or even after the baby was born.
Jabali was 1.5 years. He had a major conversion attack, a major one. We even thought he wouldn't survive.
At 6 months, my son was not sitting, my son was not able to control his neck, and there he was so tiny still at 6 months. We had to start the therapies, and the physiotherapies that we started were good.
Karungu was told he was born with cerebral palsy out of a difficult birth, and I think from then on I was aware from very early that we might have issues with him because the doctor warned me.
For mother who, when she's pregnant, she's noticing my child is not moving as often, or the mother is unwell and has a premature baby. So the chances are higher if your baby comes out early. The chances are higher if there's been some abnormal movements that the mother has noticed when she's pregnant. But it's very difficult to tell what the chances are because it depends on what we call the etiology, what has caused that cerebral palsy.
We meet some parents of children living with the condition, and who at times have been sidelined by the society.
So after going for counseling, I was able just to come out and believe that it's only me who can talk about my son.
We got Jay, we were advised to let him know about his brother from the early. When he was growing up, we used to tell him, Toto, you see, we would try to show that Jabali bado ni mtoto, so Jay should take care of Jabali.
Despite the stigma, these parents, Irene Mwangi, Angelica and Deborah Kioko, are urging the society to embrace people living such kind of disability.
Others will hide their children just because they want to hide. They don't want stigma. I want to tell them there is no stigma in giving birth to a child with disability.
If you are locking the child because you have nothing else to do, that probably I would say it's not really your fault. But if you are hiding them because you are feeling ashamed or something like that, I think that's a very cruel thing to do for both the child and for yourself, because you don't feel free.
I know it's not an easy journey, but the moment you are in denial, even your daughter or your son cannot progress. And also you should let the society know that you have a daughter or a son who has a disability, so that they can embrace him or her.
The diagnosis of cerebral palsy is usually made by the doctor after gathering information about child's problems and doing physical examination. Problems with movement in infancy associated with weakness and stiffness of muscles are important clues. Because there are other conditions that could cause problems of muscles, and movement tests may be done. A brain CT or MRI may reveal problems of the brain that may be treatable, according to health experts.
For nowadays, we have IVF treatments where children are being born as twins, and sometimes when you have twin pregnancies, it puts you at risks for having prematurity and even having cerebral palsy. So as difficult as it is to control, but what I encourage every mother who is expectant is you need to go to your antenatal visits. The reason for that, the doctors can be able to detect any problems that you have, because it's not only cerebral palsy we worry about, but if mom has diabetes or has high blood pressure or has even HIV, we need to take control of these conditions, because it gives better baby outcomes. So it's not only for cerebral palsy, but for good baby outcomes, we need regular visits in the antenatal clinic that are available in different counties.
For Deborah Kioko, a mother to a 9-year-old son, Joseph, she had to overcome depression after losing her husband and giving birth to a child living with cerebral palsy.
First of all is to accept. Counseling is about accepting your situation, accepting your problem, and talking with someone to help you bring out the best solution in you. Because that person is not supposed to give you a solution. It's you. So I felt I needed someone to talk to openly, so that I can look at what I can do best for my son. And yes, it comes a time when you say, yes, I'm weak, but I need someone to help me wake up and move.
Major causes of cerebral palsy include meningitis or encephalitis, blood clotting problems, abnormal blood vessels, a heart defect that was there at birth, or a sickle cell disease. Signs and symptoms appear during infancy or preschool years.
So for example, for a baby who's born premature, they tend to bleed in the brain. And because of this, it will cause injuries in what's called the motor, the places in the brain that control motor movement. And this will cause now the signs of cerebral palsy, which is abnormalities in how a child is moving, in the way they are positioning themselves. And so the main causes can be due to anything in terms of infection, in terms of bleeds, in terms of even brain malformation, and some of these are even genetic driven, and we're still investigating what the genetics is, but those disturbances are the ones that cause cerebral palsy in children.
The children require regular therapy to optimize their condition and also reduce stiffness.
Occupational therapy, kama vile umesikia, ni matibabu ambayo inatumia kazi, more specific kazi za the daily activities, kama tunafundisha how this kid anaweza kujishikia kitu agarau na mkono, aweze kukura, aweze kujiosha, ajifanyie the grooming, na pia kumfundisha kuketi na kusimama ili mwishowe aweze kutembea. And the main goal ya mazoezi ni mtoto aweze kucheza, kwa maana kucheza ndio sasa the activity of a child, na hatimaye mwisho aweze kujitegemea kwa mambo zingine mwisho.
And we have to take care of bone health, because children who are not standing can get fractures of their bones. So we have to make sure that they're taking adequate calcium, because of course if you break a bone that has a major blood vessel, that can cause complications. So we have to manage the complications that come with cerebral palsy, and that way to optimize the longevity and a child living the best life that they can.
Children with mild symptoms can live as long as those without cerebral palsy. The damage to the brain does not become worse over time, but the problems may get more severe as the child grows. With extensive care, symptoms may improve. Health practitioners advise parents to get a therapist who understands the development of a child.
Nikikuja kwa mtoto, ninaanzia from since now hajaweza kufeed the chewing, so I start with the chewing muscles. Nafanya the rubbing of the chewing muscles, na facilitate. When I'm rubbing, I'm facilitating the chewing muscles, ndio mtoto aweze kutafuna kitu na kumeza mwenyewe.
Deborah Kioko and other parents started a support group to enable parents with such children meet and give moral support to one another.
At Empress Cerebral Palsy Families Association, we encourage those parents who are at home, who feel that they're scared of bringing out their children, to come and join us, that they will grow so that they are able to bring out their children and be supported.
I always tag along my nanny to go meet the other kids, or when we are going to a children's home where there are kids with disabilities, I tag along my nanny. So in the process, she learns.
Children need to have fun. Take your child out, walk in the garden, take your child to see something so they can enjoy. Childhood is supposed to be enjoyed. So we want even children who have cerebral palsy to enjoy their life. These children have a good future if we support them. We need to know what it is that they want to do for a living. If a child wants to become an accountant and they have the capacity to do so, we support them in the school setting so their future is bright.
In a society full of challenges, such parents want the government to establish a facility that will serve the children with this kind of disability.
If the government could ease the taxes for assistive devices and drugs, make it as in, you see, like how people with HIV get ARVs free. I wish they could do it for kids with disabilities, that the anticonvulsants should be free.
These multiple disabilities seem to have been forgotten, either because they are rare, so there are not too many people, But the government should not forget that they are part of society. They pay taxes for those who work. I've seen many people who sell sweets in the streets. They are not exempted from the taxes that people pay. So they would still require services from the government.
Kila siku ya Jumatano tunazungumza, tunaulizana na tunajuzana masuala ibuka ya kisiasa.
Uhuru is not in Kirinyaga.
Maisha yangu ni huru na watu wangu wanyali.
Tulivunja vyama vya URP na TNA na vyama vingine tanzu, ndio tukaunda chama inaitwa Jubilee.
Mijadala komavu kuhusu yanayokuhusu, na zaidi ya yote tunakupa nafasi kumfahamu kiongozi wako katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Yako kama mtoto ilikuwa gani?
Mimi nilizaliwa, sasa najuaje maisha ilikuwa
wakati namuuliza maisha.
Kwanza ilikuwa tu ni jaribu kabisa kufikia pahali ambapo nitafika Nairobi. Najua ilikuwa ni kazi ambayo ilichukua siku mingi sana kufika Nairobi.
Kila siku ya Jumatano kuanzia saa 1:30 hadi saa 2:30. Ungana naye Elizabeth Mutuku, usikose.
It is said that cooking is one of the greatest gifts you can give those you love because nothing brings people together like good food. Join Chef Hamadi every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. as he teaches us some simple and quick recipes, only on The Throwdown.
You are the mighty God, the great I am. Hallelujah.
Or nannies have also been advised to be patient with such kids. Jacqueline Akoth and Priscilla Mutave are a few examples of caregivers who have lived with such kids for 5 years.
Kwambia kagani akitaka kitu anataka, inabidi kwanza umsikilize, umwangalie venye anafanya, ndio urudi tena hiyo kitu ureverse, ndio uchue sasa ni nini anataka, ndio unaenda kumfanyia.
Ni kama anatafuta job. Sasa job yoyote yenye atapata, akikutania mtoto kama huyu Muigai mwenye station yake iko hivi, asitoroke, avumilie tu juu maybe sahi ni kwa Muigai ndiye amezaliwa hivyo, yeye pia kesho anaweza zaa kama huyo.
I know many people, as they call them house girls, and what they give them a bad state of life where they are. That's not right, because this person is a person staying with your kid for the whole day, for a year come, year out, and they are doing it so well and they understand each other. Please give that person the respect she demands.
Dr. Susan Wamithi explains that such kids live long when their condition is monitored always by both the parents and the doctors.
For example, for children who have cerebral palsy and seizure disorders, if you're not on your medication or if you're not compliant and following what the doctor instructs, of course, if you get seizures that are ongoing, that can reduce the life expectancy. But most of the times, children, as long as they're being monitored, the doctor is surveying on any complications, because the complications are a result of the injury to the brain.
Cerebral palsy, it's a condition that has left many parents in depression, but health experts say it is a condition that can be managed to optimize the lives of children. Reporting for TV47 from Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi, my name is Joash Onsare.
Thank you so much, Josh Onsare, for that special report on cerebral palsy. Let's take a quick breather. We'll be back with much more, including a discussion on the BBI report that was recently presented to President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM boss Raila Odinga. Don't go anywhere.
furaha sana kuona kitu kama hii. Wengine hata familia yangu hawezi amini kitu kama hii, lakini leo meona na macho, ni furaha sana. Niko kupiga simu uko kwa matanga, amesema Jasper ni yeye, ni Jasper meshinda pikipiki mpaka kutoka kwa matanga naenda kwa mbele kwa hiyo gate ipo kidogo. Mefuraha kusikia maneno kama hiyo. Kwa majina ni Jasper Mondo Chiang. Mta yangu natoka Kajulu Kadero. Nimefanya kazi ya mjengo, nimeshinda boda TVS na 1,100 bonus. Tusatumia sasa hiyo samba, mweka tu sukuma na nyanya. Hii zawadi mepanga tu kufanya tu kazi ya boda wakati kama kuna kazi ama kataka naenda kazi nyingine, naenda kazi na hii boda. Kila Mkenya ajaribu kucheza loto. Kwanza 50 mpaka 100 kwenda mbele. Jiamini, cheza loto kila siku. Dwaro ni ubed maber, utim maber, ni loto ni maber.
Jiamini, cheza loto.
Welcome back. Now, the BBI report was earlier this week presented to President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga and is expected to be officially launched on Monday. And with me tonight to discuss more on the document is Dr. Moses Ndongo, who is a political analyst and politician from Murang'a County. Good to have you, Daktari, on the show. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All
very
right,
well.
thank you so much.
Well, I like to be Dr. Moses Mwangi.
All right, Dr. Moses Ndongo Mwangi, thank you so much for coming on the show. Yes, first things first, Daktari, what are the highlights of the BBI report according to you?
Thank you very much, and I greet all the viewers wherever you are. The highlights: 1, devolution, strengthening of devolution. And in this, there are 2 items that we see. One of them is the increase of funding to the counties from 15% to 35%. Number 2 is the creation of the Ward Development Fund, among others. That strengthens devolution. Number 2 is the inclusivity aspect, bringing having the BBI seems to have a spirit of bringing all Kenyans on board, so that including gender, the 2-3 gender that we have been unable to implement in the, as we have implemented the 2010 Constitution. So bringing more women into leadership. For example, if a governor is a male, the deputy governor is female. That brings in more women into leadership. We see the Senate, and would have wished to see it as an upper house, also having 2 senators from each county.
Right. Daktari, if I may interrupt you for a bit. On the gender issue, the recommendations on the gender equality has elicited mixed reactions. Some people saying it's not reasonable. How reasonable is it according to you? Are their grievances legitimate?
I think, as you know, and I think all Kenyans know, it's been very difficult to implement the gender issue of 2/3. To the extent that I think we all know that the Chief Justice has basically said the Parliament has failed. So, in my view, the BBI is giving us giant steps forward. It's not fully there.
but I think it makes it better. It makes us move forward better. In my view, okay, when it comes to what they are calling the mixed representation in Parliament, even in the National Assembly, we wait to see how that will be implemented. But in my view, it is a forward movement from where we currently are.
You have spoken about inclusivity, Dr. How is the report supposed to unite more than 50 million Kenyans if it cannot unite three politicians, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, the ODM boss, and Deputy President William Ruto?
I think the ball is with the people, because let's face it, the way BBI is a child of the handshake. And to that extent, to then say, we have brought on board, BBI has brought on board the two most influential political leaders in the country. The fact that the deputy president, who belongs to the president side of the equation, has created a third axis, in my view, is an unfortunate happening. But I believe from since the report released, even coming from that corner of the deputy president, you can see that there is toning down. There is an agreement that we need to bring all of us together. So I think as we continue with the conversation, we are likely to see even the three leaders coming together on this one issue.
Right. Still on inclusivity, how do additional positions translate to all tribes benefiting equality and inclusivity?
I think we need to, the expansion of the executive